Okay, welcome. This is week 3, September 21st. This is just a little intro video to tell you what we're going to be working on this week. I'm also going to add a little mini lecture into this one video here, just to give you guys a little bit of background of stuff that we're going to be studying in class starting today. So make sure that you're studying those vocab words off of the Quizlet link, because first thing that's going to happen when you come into class today is you are going to take that quiz on foundations of government. We'll focus on a little current events with an upfront article, and then I'm going to show you how to complete your crash course, where do U.S. politics come from, as well as a Hamilton versus Jefferson document, and I'll show you where that is located here in just a moment. Big change to the schedule. Make sure that you are taking a glance at what Mr. Pickens sent out in terms of the new schedule for even and odd days. Okay, it's not too much of a difference in the schedule, but make sure that you are paying attention to that. Okay, going into the grade book to be completed by class time on week 4. You've got the two things that we did last week, the 2.2, 2.3 reading guide, the Liberty video worksheet, and then the two things that I'm giving you today, the crash course, where do U.S. politics come from, and then also the Hamilton versus Jefferson document, okay? So a couple things that I just want to rehash, stuff that we talked about last week. This political spectrum is absolutely going to come into play with how when we're talking about the transition from the Articles to the Constitution, okay? A couple different references that you might not necessarily know is at Cornwallis' surrender at Yorktown. The British troops kind of turned their nose up to having to surrender to the Americans, and they played a little drinking song that they called "The World Turned Upside Down," kind of showing them how ironic it was that they were surrendered, that the mighty British Army was surrendering to Washington. Okay. The Treaty of Paris in 1783. You're going to see the British still have a stake in North America, in Canada, okay, but all of their interests here are going to be given to the Americans, okay? So Articles of Confederation were from 1781 to 1789. You're going to see why they transitioned out of that after this, okay? Remember that we talked in class a little bit about Shays' Rebellion. Okay, Shays' Rebellion was kind of the last straw that had enough, since they didn't have any ability to raise an army or even to pay taxes. According to George Washington, there could be no evidence of there could be no stronger evidence of the want of energy in our governments than these disorders. Okay, like we said before, this was a complete inability to raise an army or put down a rebellion in 1786 and 87, okay? So, a little activity that we would do in a traditional class is I would ask you to give me your opinion about, what you think the role of government is, and this should kind of play into your role of the American dream, okay? So these same arguments that we make today, what is the role of government? Is it to keep everybody safe? Okay, or is it to protect our freedoms, is definitely going to be the same argument that you're going to hear the Federalists and Anti-Federalists make way back then, okay? So yeah, that's just gives you a little bit of intro of what we're going to be talking about in class today. When you go into Schoology, okay, here's what you're going to see. Okay, under this Foundations of Government folder, this is where I'm going to give you this crash course, where U.S. politics come from, where you're going to find this Hamilton-Jefferson document. You're going to need both of these PDFs to complete this. I'll show you how to do that in class today, but we're going to get going on both of those today. Make sure that you study those terms so that you guys are ready for that. See you guys this week. Make it a great week, or don't. The choice is yours.